Staying with Bangalore, the milk politics in the state continues to boil over. The Congress party has levelled a detailed charge at the BJP and Home Minister Amit Shah as well. They say the government is trying to create one nation, one milk, and that one milk being Amul's. Congress's Jairam Ramesh today has said that Amit Shah wants to merge dairy cooperatives in different states and create a single unit. He has also listed out decisions taken for this alleged plan. On July 2021, the NDA government, he says, created a separate ministry for cooperative affairs. The next day, Home Minister Amit Shah takes charge of it. Cut to October 2022. Home Minister Amit Shah announces a plan to create multi-state cooperatives that can function as export houses. December 2022, Amit Shah proposed a so-called cooperation between Nandini and Amul. And then January 2023, the union government approved the creation of 3 multi-state cooperatives. The Congress says that these decisions were taken to help Amul to dilute local cooperatives and create one nation, one milk. Jairam Ramesh also gave examples from other industries, like how the profit-making Vijaya Bank was merged with the loss-making Bank of Baroda, and how the State Bank of Mysore merged with the SBI. The broad argument is that Amit Shah is dismantling the basic premise of cooperative societies. And what's that basic premise? Farmers first and localized decision-making. Now, the Congress claims the BJP is trying to take those powers away from Bangalore, Chennai or Pune and place it firmly in the hands of Delhi/Gujarat. The question is, do these allegations really add up, or is the Congress seeing a controversy where there is none? Let me go straight across to our guests who are joining us this evening. Prashanth GS is spokesperson of the BJP with us. Bhavya Narsimhamurthy is spokesperson of the Congress party with us as well. And K V Dhananjay is an advocate of the Supreme Court. He'll tell us what he thinks as a citizen of Karnataka/Bangalore. Let me come to the Congress spokesperson first. Bhavya, every day this conspiracy theory that is being floated by the Congress party is getting new chapters. Today, Jairam Ramesh has added a chapter with the title, "The BJP is trying to give us one nation, one milk." Pray help us understand how this is going to work. Where is the conspiracy here against Nandini?
So this is not the theory that we started. We are just showing the people of Karnataka how unfriendly. You know, BJP has proved time and again that they are the enemies of federalism. And whatever the regional, brands are there, regional banks, instead of encouraging them, they've always tried. For example, you just gave the example of Bank of Baroda subsuming our Vijaya Bank. Vijaya Bank was homegrown. Nandini right now is the pride of Karnataka. And 26 lakh farmers' lives and their livelihoods, their families depends on Nandini. And if you remember in December, Mr. Amit Shah had, in one of his speeches, had said that he wanted to collaborate Amul and Nandini. You know, Amul is comparatively a very big cooperative society. That is also a cooperative society. That is also, lakhs of farmers depend on it. We are not against Amul. But today, when they try to come and to create this multi-state cooperatives, first of all, belongs to state subject. All they want to do is have a centralized control over these organizations, because cooperatives are a very powerful organizations and they deserve to be decentralized, and the command should be in the hands of the people here. That's the whole concept of cooperatives. And, just for the purpose of the elections and to have a command and
Bhavya, can I ask you a simple question here?
Decentralized organizations.
Can I ask you a simple question here?
Unconstitutional.
I'll ask you a simple question here.
So far to
Bhavya, I want to ask you a very simple question. Answer this question for me. Answer this question for me. Yes. Nandini is the pride of Karnataka. The BJP knows it as well as the Congress party does, as well as the JDS does, right? The BJP is the party in power both at the center and at the state. There is a tough election facing them. Why on earth would they do anything to mess up with Nandini and therefore Karnataka's pride? It doesn't make any political sense in an election year.
It doesn't make
This
a
is an
political
unnecessary
sense in this
controversy
year
being
because
created by the controversy is what the BJP is saying.
here again, BJP has always been just a mouthpiece of their high command. They don't care about the people of Karnataka. This elections, they might bring another communal issue. You know, they have thousands of issues to bring up. Now that they have all these scams against them, we were exposing them. They actually, maybe they underestimated this Nandini issue. They thought people of Karnataka might not take this as an important issue. And recently, yesterday and day before, some of the leaders, BJP leaders have tweeted against the issue that Nandini is the pride of Karnataka. They have supported our stand, the Congress stand, because they know this will definitely affect their elections. But for Congress, this is not a matter of elections. They understand the people of Karnataka and the emotions of Karnataka. This is definitely the pride of our
No, so the point is, if this is not a matter of, Bhavya, if this is not a matter of elections, then the BJP should have protested 8 years ago when Amul actually made an entry into the state of Karnataka, in northern Karnataka. In areas like Hubli, we know that Amul Milk has been selling for eight years. Till now, Shanti, nothing. Suddenly there's an election. Suddenly there is an election and a controversy is required. Yes, Prashanth wants to come in. Please, Prashanth, come in here. Serious charges against the BJP today and Amit Shah as well. One nation, one milk is what the Congress is saying, is what the BJP is attempting right now with Nandini.
See, at the outset, I would like to bring on record that Congress is completely intellectually bankrupt, politically bankrupt now of ideas, because they don't even know where to start, where to end. They were talking about BJP being a high command, trained party or high command controlled. It's the highest irony is that Congress is one family culture, and how everybody knows that the Congress first family treats its members and district presidents or state presidents, or even for that matter, the Congress national president now. Be that as it may, what was Amit Shahji's statement that day? It was only for the technical collaboration between Nandini and Amul, and that any cooperative, be it Nandini or Amul, should have the access to best of the technologies, so that ultimately the farmers will benefit. This was in effect the statement made by Amit Shahji in December 2022. This issue, Congress is trying to politicize now by saying that BJP is killing brand Nandini, where in fact, when Amul entered the market in 2015 or 2017, as the case may be, Congress was in power. You can look at Amul's tweets then saying they have arrived in Hubballi, they have arrived in Belgaum, and Congress had no problem. Even now, you have Heritage Milk, Arogya Milk, Dodla, Datsun of different states being sold in Karnataka. We are not against any of them, because India is a free market and every company can sell its milk wherever. At the same time, Nandini is a proud product of Karnataka, and every Kannadiga would vouch for that. And Congress is only trying to make it an election issue. We're trying to politicizing it and trying to instill doubts in the minds of the farmers and the voters that BJP is doing something which is anti-farmers, which is not at all the case. Congress, and I repeat, Congress is now mentally, politically bankrupt of ideas, and you have the factions amongst them fighting against each other. They are unable to counter the individual factions, and therefore they're trying to create a controversy where there exists none.
We don't even have to have a narrative. You've already destroyed yourself with all your scams. There is total anti-incumbency in the state. This is an emotional issue. This is the pride of Karnataka. That's why we have taken up, not as an election issue. Because all your scams, the 40% commission scam.
They entered the market 8 years ago.
K V Dhananjay.
8 years ago.
Don't even need a narrative.
You've taken up the issue now. You've taken up the issue now after 8 years.
Prashanth and Bhavya.
Zero development, zero
Prashanth and Bhavya. Let a citizen of Karnataka also come into the debate.
We know what's happening in Rajasthan.
Bhavya and Prashanth.
Against the sitting CM
if you speak over each other, I will not understand what you are saying. More
Shreya, let me
importantly, the
complete
viewer
it.
will not
Let me
understand what you're
complete.
saying. So what is
Let
the
me
point?
complete.
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. So there's no point talking over each other. Don't do that. It's counterproductive. I mean, some people think it makes for good TV. I think it makes for terrible TV. Arey bhai, if the viewer cannot understand what you're saying, what's the point of saying it? Give me a minute, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd request, 1 minute, Bhavya and Prashanth, get a cup of water. K V Dhananjay, or get a cup of coffee. K V Dhananjay, you're an advocate of the Supreme Court. You practice at the Karnataka High Court as well. Politics is often about perception. The BJP is coming out and clarifying that Amul entered Karnataka 8 years ago under the Congress rule. B, Amul in Bangalore is not going to sell in retail. They are only going to sell through e-commerce sites. See, Amul very clearly itself is saying that we cannot even hope to compete with Nandini, which is the cheapest pouched milk and curd in the country. I mean, if you look at the rates across segments, they're at least 8 to 10 rupees cheaper than Amul. Now, if Amul has clarified all of this and Nandini has clarified all of it, why is it that the controversy is only boiling over? I say this because you have Bangalore's Hotel Association that is saying we won't use Amul. You have dairy farmers from Mandya who will be marching to Bangalore in protest as well against Amul's entry. What do you make of all that is playing out?
Well, I think the issue is more complex than is captured in the varying debates between Congress and BJP. The issue is more complex because uh, Nandini has a certain emotional connect in Karnataka, and this is election time. And if the Congress could lie enough and then scare people about Nandini losing market share, I think that would be somehow effective. And when I say somehow effective, I mean it to the same extent as promising 15 lakh rupees in each bank account. So this is election time. Sanity will be thrown out of the window. But then if you look at the larger and broader picture, I think the Amul issue is in fact gaining some traction in Karnataka because there are 24 lakh farmers are connected with the Nandini milk. That's a procurement number. 24 lakh farmers in Karnataka on a daily basis and on a weekly basis will be receiving money from KMF. Now, if you scare them by saying that, look, Nandini's market share, should it come down, then the price of milk will shoot up, which means the incentive that you get will not be the same in the coming years. If that kind of a fear is spread, I think that will have some impact on the voters, I would say. Number one. Number two, also, so far as the consumers are concerned, now Nandini is the undisputed market leader in Karnataka. They hold 82% of the market. So a large chunk of the population of Karnataka would really worry about milk prices because compared to the runaway inflation in food grain prices, the milk prices I've seen relatively smaller increase in prices, the milk. So if consumers are scared on that aspect, and if they are told that, look, Nandini would not be able to, afford to keep these lower prices if the market share comes down, because if Amul comes in, Amul is a very big player. So Amul is certainly going to take away some market share of Nandini. And when that happens, Nandini may not be able to keep these lower prices, because that again is a good economic argument. So if consumers are also alert to this possibility, I think the Congress would have done its task of lying to the voters and then scaring them. And this is what political parties do. I think that is the context in which we've got to see this. But at the same time, we also should recognize that roughly 66,000 crore rupees is annual revenue of Amul's parent company, GCMMF, whereas it's one third for Nandini, that is KMF, which is 22,000 crores. Nandini is, of course, a very big company, however you look at it, not just from the Karnataka standard, but even by the national standard. So what the BJP is setting out to do, which is to make Amul bigger, I don't think is in national interest, because a lot of scientists have been warning us about the bleak possibility in the future, which is milk is going to get prohibitively expensive unless it is sourced locally and then consumed locally. Global warming is bringing down the pasture and vegetation, and more bovine diseases are actually spreading in India. So this whole business of wanting to expand Amul and then take it to different parts of the country, I think is a terribly bad idea to begin with. And even I would say that Nandini, to the extent they have some market share outside.
But
you wanted to say something?
But K V Dhananjay, I would argue the other side. Why should Amul be made to feel defensive if it wants to expand into Karnataka or into any other state? After all, it is an Indian brand. I mean, the Congress may be saying it's a Gujarati brand, but the fact is Amul is an Indian brand, just like Nandini is an Indian brand. And just like Nandini has every right to enter markets in Delhi, in Punjab, in Haryana, in Gujarat as well. Similarly, Amul has every right to expand. We live in a free country. We live in a free market. I don't understand why a brand should be made to feel defensive about stepping into another state. I mean, I don't agree. I don't agree with. I don't know whether I agree with one nation, one state. But the fact is that we are one country, and any brand should be allowed to go into any other state that it wishes to. It's as simple as that.
May I step in there for a moment? May I for a moment clarify?
And I am not even for a moment. I am not even for a moment saying that Amul.
Let me complete.
Mr.
Dhananjay, you had your time. Just let me complete. Just give me give me 10 seconds.
एक मिनट Mr. Prashanth,
out of Nandini's turnover of 22,000 crores.
एक minute, Prashanth, give me a minute. Let Dhananjay complete. I'll come to you. Dhananjay, I can give you 10 seconds. Please complete your point.
Well, I was not in the least expressing my views. I was speculating on what the ground situation is. I'm all for Amul entering Karnataka, and I believe that market. I mean, market is free, and there is no law barring Amul from coming into Karnataka. I think they are free to come in, and I was not in the least expressing my view. I was pointing out to what appears to be the dynamic in the public. That's it. So I was not expressing my view because honestly,
Prashanth,
I think
10
I'm
seconds.
I'm different.
Okay. Let's see if the voters are indifferent to the controversy, not by the looks of it. Prashanth, 10 seconds. I'm completely out of time. Yes. 10 seconds.
See, out of the Nandini's turnover of 22,000 crores, more than 15% of it is earned from outside the state of Karnataka, which means Nandini has already made its presence in multiple states. In fact, it has forayed into Maharashtra also. In Pune and Bombay also it's doing very well. And you have a prominent Bollywood actor who's a brand ambassador for Nandini outside the state of Karnataka. So therefore, any milk cooperative, be it Nandini, be it Amul or something else, will have the right to sell its products in any other state. At the end of the day, the farmers are getting benefited and they are Indian farmers at the end of the day. You can't distinguish between a farmer in Karnataka and discriminate him against a farmer from Maharashtra or Gujarat. Farmer is a farmer. He is the backbone of the country and the economy. And therefore, every farmer must have the right to ensure that his produce gets the best price and ultimately the farmers are benefited. There should be no politics in this.
Okay, thank you, Prashanth, thank you, Bhavya, and thank you, Dhananjay, for joining us on an issue which I thought, frankly, would die down in 48 hours, but it has now gone on and boiled over for 7 days. So it's clearly becoming an election issue, possibly because it's emotional. After all, we drink milk. I mean, I drink Mother Dairy, Dhananjay and Bhavya and Prashanth drink Nandini. There are people who drink Amul as well. Milk is something personal. Milk is something emotional, which is why I think we've been talking about it for the last 7 days now. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. A quick break. There's much more news on the other side. Do stay with us.
In association with